Oh, wow. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are having a great, great, great morning. I'm so glad to see you all. So glad to see you all. We are going to be doing what we do every morning. Yep. We are going to be, we are going to continue the reading of the Bible. I don't know about you, but I am super excited about this journey that I have undertaken. I am super excited about it. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm also happy that I'm able to share it with you. Many years ago, we would have had this opportunity. Years ago, when I went on a quest to read the Bible, I just, I just read. I'm not even sure I remembered anything or much of what I read. I just being that I love to read, I just read. And so much of it didn't really stick with me as it does now because y'all know that there has been an increase in thoughts. People are now more willing to question the things they believe, to sort of pick things apart. Back when I was younger and I read the entire Bible, I just read it just for reading sake because I was already of a particular conviction and I was hell bent. I never was going to change my conviction, but I needed to read the Bible. So I read it with my conviction still intact. Today, however, with a more open mind, I am reading the Bible with a lot more understanding of it. And after having read other books, I realized that the Bible is actually not all tell all. It's not tell all, follow all, listen to all, do all. You have to read the Bible with an open mind. You can't read it and say, well, I already believe so and so, so I'm just going to read it for reading's sake, because that is not going to help. You have to read, you have to empty your mind of any convictions you had before and read the Bible as though you were reading it for the first time. Get the context of the content you're reading. Pick it apart. Be willing to open your mind to other possibilities as you read. Ask yourself the pertinent questions. Don't be afraid and say you don't want to question what God said. You don't want to question what God did. You don't want to question. You just gonna follow along like a sheep and not ask any questions about what you've read. Just follow along. Ask yourself. And I'm not here to convince anybody one way or the other. I do not endorse any particular religion, any particular denomination. I do not. All I am doing is reading the Bible for myself and for us actually, so that we can be able, so that we can have knowledge of what is in the Bible, because 99% of us who claim to be Christians or any other religion that follows claim that we follow the Bible and we do as the Bible say, we have never read the book from the beginning to the end. We we are very selective. We pick a verse and we talk about that verse There's a story written in the Bible, and we talk about that story, but we never read the book ourselves to be able to get the correct context of what that verse was about, who spoke the words in that verse, why it was spoken, to whom it was spoken, and how relevant is this verse to our lives today based on its original use. Because if we are following something that is based on somebody else's life, it has to have relevance to ours. Okay, and so on my quest to read the Bible for myself, I am pleased with those of you who have chosen to join me on this journey as we read the Bible for ourselves. So come on over with me. For those of you who are new into my channel, we do this over here every single morning. We do this over here every single morning. We read the Bible and talk about the chapters we read that day. All right. So this morning we are going to be reading the book of First Chronicles. We are actually on the last leg of the First Chronicles, and we are reading chapters 27, 28, and 29. And actually, 29 is the last chapter of this book. So get your book Bible or your Google Bible and come along with me. Let us read the book of First Chronicles. Let's begin. Okay, First Chronicles chapter 27. Now the children of Israel, after their number, to wit, the chief fathers and captains of thousands and hundreds, and their officers that served the king in any matter of the courses, which came in and went out month by month throughout all the months of the year, of every course were 24,000. Over the first course for the first month was Jashobeam, the son of Jabdiel, and in his course were 24. Of the children of Perez was the chief of all the captains of the host for the first month. And over the course of the second month was Dodai, an Ahohite, and of his course was Mikloth, also the ruler. In his course likewise was 24. The third captain of the host for the third month was Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, a chief priest, and in his courts were 24. This is that Benaniah, who was mighty among the 30 and above the 30, and in his course was Ammizadab his son. All right, you know why they mention that this Benaniah? Remember we talked about how the Bible, many people in the Bible have the same name. We have also found where some women have names that are primarily used for men. Example, the name Noah, Noah, Noah. Yes, we have seen in the Bible where there is a man, that's a man who built the ark, who had the name Noah. And we also saw where Zelophehad had only 5 daughters, he had no sons, but one of his daughters' names was Noah. Okay, and that is why you see, I say context is so important. And we got to read the Bible to be able to understand what we believe or think we believe. All right. So here the Bible is also explaining to us which Benaniah it's talking about. Now, if you all remember back in chapter, I'm going to get it for you. If you all remember, I want to be sure. If you all remember back in chapter 18, let me see if that mentioned. I know in chapter 18 and verse 17 that mentioned Benaniah, but I wanted to see if they had before because remember Benaniah was a chief priest for David. He was considered to be extremely smart. And they believe that he was among all the chiefs that David had selected. But David didn't choose him among the three. He chose Abishai and Joab, who were brothers, and he also chose Jehoshaphat. And so there was a little bit of a conflict there because they were saying, why didn't he choose Benaniah? But he didn't. Okay, so here it is telling us in chapter 27, it is talking about Benaniah, and it made sure it tells us which Benaniah it's talking about. It said, the third captain of the host for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, a chief priest, and in his course was 24,000. This is that Benaiah who was mighty among the 30 and above the 30, and in his course was Amizadab, his son. You see, I like to give explanations, and I love that. I love that. The fourth captain for the fourth month was Asahel, the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah, his son after him, and in his course were 24,000. The fifth captain for the fifth month was Shamhuth, the Israelite, and in his course were 24,000. The sixth captain for the sixth month was Ira, the son of Ikesh, the Tekoite, and in his course were 24,000. The seventh captain for the seventh month was Helez, the Peronite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his course were 24,000. The eighth captain for the eighth month was Shibbekai, the Hushathite, of the Zaharites, and in his course were 24,000. I'm not sure what the significance of the 24,000 is that each captain, there was a captain for each month, and each captain had 24,000 on his side. I'm not sure what that 24,000 means, but I'm sure we will find out as we continue to read. Verse 12, the ninth captain for the ninth month was Abiezer, the Anathalite of the Benjaminites, and in his course were 24,000. The 10th captain for the 10th month was Maharai, the Netophathite of the Zahites, and in his course were 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaniah, the Parathonite of the children of Ephraim, and in his course were 24,000. So you see, guys, that the Bible was written very cleverly, and it was not meant to leave us in confusion. It was meant to make us understand that what it was saying was relaying a story of a time, and it wanted us to understand the people, their culture, the way they lived at that time. And it does a pretty good job at it because here in chapter 24 of the book of First Chronicles, the Bible is talking about two different Benaiahs over here in chapter in verse 5, I should say. It talks about Benaiah being one of the captains for David. And since we've come across the name several times before, the Bible wants us to understand which Benaiah it's talking about so we do not get confused. So here in verse 5, it talks about Benaiah, and it went on to give us the explanation in verse 6 and said, this is the Benaiah who was among the 30 men that David had chosen. Remember, David had chosen 30 of the top warriors to be his right hand captains, and Benaiah was among them. So he said, it explains to us that this is that same Benaiah it's talking about. Now, over here in chapter 14, in verse 14, I should say, of the same chapter 27, it's talking about another Benaiah. And it says, the 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaiah, the Pirathonite, of the children of Ephraim, and in his course were 24,000. So one Benaiah was the son of Joadiah, and the other Benaiah was a Pirathonite of the children of Ephraim, was a descendant of Ephraim. Now that we have that clear, let's move on to verse 15. The 12th captain of the 12th month was Heldai, the Netophathite of Othniel, and in his course were 24,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, the ruler of the Reubenites was Eleazar, the son of Zikri. Of the Simeonites, Shephatiah, the son of Makar. And of the Levites, Ashabiah, the son of Kemuel. Of the Aaronites, Zadok. Of Judah, Elihu, one of the brethren of David. Of Issachar, Omri, the son of Michael. Good morning, Sister Winsome. How are you doing? So good to see you. Of Zebulun, Ishmael, the son of Obadiah. Of Naphtali, Jeremoth, the son of Azriel. Of the children of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Azaziah. Of the half tribe of Manasseh, Joel, the son of Pedaiah. And of the other half tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Iddo, the son of Zechariah of Benjamin, Jaziel, the son of Abner. Of Dan, Azareel, the son of Jeroham. These were the princes of the tribes of Israel. But David took not the number of them from 24 years old and under, because the Lord had said he would increase Israel like to the stars of the heavens. Joab, the son of Zeruiah, began to number, but he finished not, because there fell wrath for it against Israel. Neither was the number put in the account of the chronicles of King David. And over the king's treasures was Azmaveth. So Azmaveth, he was responsible for the king's treasures. He was the one who was the overseer for the king's treasures. The son of Adiel, and over the storehouses in the fields, in the cities, and in the villages, And in the castles was the Jehonathan, the son of Uzziah. And over them that did the work of the field was of the field for tillage of the ground was Ezri, the son of Chelub. All right. And right there, I'm going to give, I'm going to pause right there so that I can give you all a quiz. As I give you this quiz, I'm going to continue reading while you determine what the answer is and put it in the chat. Yesterday we did this. It was fun. Card won yesterday. I hope he gets a challenge today. And the question for this morning is, what did Eleazar and Zelophehad have in common? According to the Bible, what did Eleazar and Zelophehad have in common? Now, for those of you who have been following the reading, you would know the name Zelophehad. That name has come up in practically every chapter. I mean, not chapter, but every book that we have read so far. The name Zelophehad has come up. They have been using his name and his circumstance as a teachable moment for the children of Israel the whole time. And so I want you to answer me in the chat. What did Zelophehad and Eliezer have in common? All right, while you mull over that, I will continue the reading. We are reading from the book of 1CHRONICLES, chapter 27. We are at right now. And verse 26. We're going to read 25 again. And over the king's treasure was Asmaveth, the son of Adiel, and over the storehouses in the fields, in the cities, and in the villages, and in the castles was Jehonathan, the son of Uzziah. And over them that did the work of the field for tillage of the ground was Ezri, the son of Chelub. And over the vineyards was Shemai, the Ramathite. Over the increase of the vineyards for the wine cellars was Zabdi, the Shifmite. And over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the low plains was Baalanan, the Gederite. And over the tellers of oil was Joash. And over the herds that fell in Sharon was Shitrai, the Sharonite. And over the herds that were in the valleys was Shaphat, the son of Adari, the son of Adlai. So here you see David is putting all these men to work. He's making sure that everybody has their own post. Everybody has their own responsibilities so that he can have some order in the place. Over the camels also was Obil, the Ishmaelite, and over the asses was Jedaiah, the Merathonite. And over the flocks was Jaziz, the Hagarite. All these were the rulers of the substance, which was King David's. And if you all notice that he was able to gather the masses from all tribes of Israel. He was really a powerful man, a man of great charisma that people really flocked to. Also, Jonathan, David's uncle. All right, that's Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a wise man, and a scribe. And Jehiel, the son of Hakmoni, was with the king's sons. And Ahithophel And Ahithophel was the king's counselor. Yes, I remember Ahithophel. But I thought he had abandoned David and had gone with David's son, if I remember correctly. All right, let us continue. And Ahithophel was the king's counselor, and Hushai the Archite was the king's companion. And after Ahithophel was Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah. Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah. Did it say over here? Hold on, let me make sure right here, because right here in verse 34 of chapter 27, it says, Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and over here it said, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada. Hold on. That's why I'm glad I have a little bit of memory, you know. If you all are following in your book Bible or your Google Bible, let's see, because why has this struck me so that I just read? Chapter 27 of the book of 1CHRONICLES and verse 34. It says, and after Ahithophel was Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah. Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah. I want you all to listen to that statement clearly. Let us go right on back to verse 5 of the same chapter. Verse 5 of chapter 27, the book of 1CHRONICLES, and let us read what it says. It says, the third captain of the host for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada. So, if it is Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, how come over here it said Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah? So who was the father, who was the son? Where is the mistake now? Where is this mistake coming from? Because here it says, Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah. And on verse 5, it said, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada. So right there, we got a little bit of confusion. Maybe a typo error. It's gotta be. So now I have to go search to see exactly which one came before the other. So which was the father and which was the son. This is another controversy that we have discovered here. Not of too much consequence, but if you are reading to get an understanding and you're starting to get conflicting information for which you can't decipher, then I can understand how that could be confusing in the way of you trying to remember what you have read and put it into context. All right. So that is one thing that we have discovered this morning. Not sure whether it is Jehoiada the father or Benaiah the father, because these two verses are saying the opposite. All right. But we are going to end the reading of chapter 27 right there, chapter 27 and verse 34. And after Ahithophel was Jehoiada, the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar, and the general of the king's army was Joab. Joab was the general of the king's army. Verse 20. Now we are moving on to chapter 28 of the book of First Chronicles. Come on along, guys. Read along with me this Sabbath morning. Read along with me. Let us read together. First Chronicles chapter 27. Sister Winsome, how you doing? Everybody else in the chat, how you are doing? Don't forget to hit that like button, my friends. And David assembled all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the captains of the companies that ministered to the king by course, and the captains over the thousands, and captains over the hundreds, and the stewards over all the substance and possession of the king, and of his sons with the officers, and with the mighty men, and with all the valiant men unto Jerusalem. Then David the king stood up upon his feet and said, Hear me, my brethren and my people. As for me, I had in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and for the footstool of our God, and had made ready for the building. But God said unto me, Thou shalt not build a house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war and hast shed many blood. So here, David is being quite transparent with his people. He has gathered up all the quote unquote important people of his kingdom, and he is being transparent with them. He's telling them, listen, I really wanted to build a house for the Lord. But the Lord has told me no one will nothing for him because he says that I have shed too much blood. Now, howbeit, the Lord God of Israel chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and of the house of Judah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he liked me to make me king over Israel. And of all my sons, for the Lord hath given me many sons. He hath chosen Solomon my son to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon thy son, he shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever, if he be constant to do my commandments and my judgments, as at this day. Now, therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of the Lord, and in the audience of our God, keep and seek for all the commandments of the Lord your God, that ye may possess this good land, and leave it for an inheritance for your children after you forever. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searcheth all hearts, and understandeth all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. When people read these things, they get so afraid. Let's read that again. Verse 9. And thou, Solomon my son, know thou the God of thy father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a willing mind. For the Lord searcheth all hearts, and understands all the imaginations of the thoughts. If thou seek him, he will be found of thee. But if thou forsake him, he will cast thee off forever. Take heed now, for the Lord hath chosen thee to build a house for this sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Then David gave to Solomon his son the pattern of the porch, and of the houses thereof, and of the treasures thereof, and of the upper chambers thereof, and of the inner parlors thereof, and of the place of the mercy seat. and the pattern of all that he had by the Spirit, of the courts of the house of the Lord, and of all the chambers round about, of the treasures of the house of God, and of the treasuries of the dedicated things. Also for the courses of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of the service of the house of the Lord, and for all the vessels of service in the house of the Lord. He gave of gold by weight for things of gold, for all instruments of all manner of service. Silver also for all instruments of silver by weight, for all instruments of every kind of service. Even the weight for the candlesticks of gold, and for their lamps of gold, by weight for every candlestick, and for the lamps thereof, and for the candlesticks of silver by weight, both for the candlestick and also for the lamps thereof, according to the use of every candlestick. And by weight he gave gold for the tables of shewbread, for every table, and likewise silver for the tables of silver. Also pure gold for the flesh hooks, and the bowls, and the cups, and for the golden basin he gave gold by weight for every basin, and likewise the silver by weight for every basin of silver, and for the altar of incense, refined gold by weight, and gold for the pattern of the chariot of the cherubims that spread out their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All this, said David, the Lord made me understand in writing by his hand upon me, even all the works of this pattern. And David said to Solomon his son, be strong and of good courage, and do it. Fear not, nor be dismayed, for the Lord God, even my God, will be with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee, until thou hast finished all the work for the service of the house of the Lord. Verse 21, and this is the last verse of chapter 28 of the book of 1st Chronicles. And behold, the courses of the priests and the Levites, even they shall be with thee for all the service of the house of God. And there shall be with thee for all manner of workmanship, every willing skillful man, for any manner of service. Also the princes and all the people will be holy at thy commandment. Here ends the reading of the book of 1st Chronicles chapter 28. All right, come on in to the live, guys. We are going to be reading the last chapter in the book of 1st Chronicles, and that is chapter 29. I have already thrown out a question for the day. The question for the day is, what did Eleazar, Eleazar, what did Eleazar and Zelophehad have in common? Okay, what did those two men have in common? All right, let us continue with the reading. Let us continue with the reading. Follow me in your book Bible or your Google Bible. 1st Chronicles chapter 29, and this is the last chapter of the book of 1st Chronicles. Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon, my son, whom alone God hath chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great, for the palace is not for man, but for the Lord God. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of my God the gold for things to be made of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and the brass for things of brass, and iron for things of iron, and wood for things of wood, onyx stones, and stones to be set, glistening stones, and of divers colors, and all manner of precious stones and marble stones in abundance. Verse 3. Moreover, because I have set my affection to the house of my God, I have of my own proper good of gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my God, over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house. Even 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver. You understand, guys? This is a lot of riches here, gold and silver and brass and iron and precious stones, onyx and diamonds and you name it. David has collected a whole lot of stuff because he wants to leave it for Solomon to build the house of the Lord. Because remember, God told him he don't want him to build him nothing. He don't want David to build him nothing because he said David shed too much blood. But David was still considered to be one of God's most revered men. So, oh, okay. But anyway, Grant is in the house. Grant, what's up? How you doing? Blessed Saturday morning to you, my love. So good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, let us continue the reading. Verse 4 of chapter 29 of the book of 1 Chronicles. Even 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the house withal. The gold for things of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and for all manner of work to be made by the hands of artificers. And who then is willing to consecrate his service this day unto the Lord? Then the chief of the fathers and princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the rulers of the king's work, offered willingly, and gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 drams, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and 1,100 talents of iron. You know, that's a lot right there. That's coming like the mud building Buckingham Palace. But anyway, and they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of the Lord by the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. Jehiel the Gershonite. Was this the same Jehiel that was married to Maacah? Because remember, there was a Jehiel that was married to a woman named Maacah in, let me see, this is, if they said where this Jehiel had come from. All right. It says, by the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. Well, this Jehiel that they spoke about, and in Gibeon, the father of Gibeon, Jehiel. So this was probably a different Jehiel, because this Jehiel was considered to be the father of Gibeon. And this Jehiel here is the Gershonite. Okay, let us continue. You know, I have to go back and check, guys, because all these people with the same names, you got to know who you're talking about. Verse 9, then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, because with perfect heart they offered willingly to the Lord. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Wherefore David blessed the Lord before all the congregation. And David said, Blessed be thou, Lord God of Israel our Father, forever and ever. Thine, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in the heaven and in the earth is thine. Thine is the kingdom, O Lord, and thou art exalted as head above all. Verse 12. Both riches and honor came of thee, and thou reignest over all. And in thine hand is power and might, and in thine hand it is to make great, and to give strength unto all. Now therefore, our God, we thank thee, and praise thy glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? For all things that come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners, as were all our fathers. Our days on the earth are as a shadow, and there is none abiding. Verse 16. O Lord our God, all this store that we have prepared to build thee as a house for thy holy name cometh of thine hand, and is all thine own. I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have willingly offered all these things, and now have I seen with joy thy people, which are present here, to offer willingly unto thee. All right. For those of you who are here, I have thrown out the quiz of the day. I've thrown out the Bible quiz of the day. I'm waiting for somebody to give me the answer in the chat before the live is over. And the quiz of the day says, what does Eleazar and Zelophehad have in common? Now, these are two men. The one, Zelophehad, we have been reading about him since, I think, in the book of Genesis or Exodus, somewhere around there. But he has been mentioned in just about every book we have read so far. Zelophehad has been mentioned. And so this morning, the quiz of the day is, what did Zelophehad and Eleazar have in common? All right. When you find the answer, put it in the chat before we are finished reading the book of 1CHRONICLES, because we are on chapter 29, which is the last chapter of the book. Let's continue. Verse 18. O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the heart of thy people, and prepare their hearts unto thee. And give unto Solomon my son a perfect heart, to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all these things, and to build the palace for the which I have made provisions. Joseph is in the place. Yes, Joseph, I'm up and running my mouth. Me say, I must be little something, I don't know, the little something. When me drink last night, me say, me Lord, I know I heard the phone alarm at 4 o'clock, like it always does. And for the life of me, could I wake up? People, Joseph, could I wake up? OMG. I was passed out, I tell you. Passed out. Yeah. But then I went back to sleep. I didn't hear the phone alarm at 5 o'clock. I didn't hear it. But then I heard it at 10 minutes after 6. And I jumped up and I was like, good Lord. That woke me up. That the 10 minutes after 6, I can't sleep much longer after that. I just had to get up and get cracking. So welcome into the live, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm waiting for somebody to answer the quiz of the day. And the quiz of the day says, what did Eliezer and Zelophehad have in common? All right, I'm waiting for somebody to put that answer in the chat before we finish reading the book of First Chronicles. Verse 20. And David said to all the congregation, now bless the Lord your God. And all the congregation blessed the Lord God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads, and worshipped the Lord and the king. I saw it go sometime. Feel good, go to bed. Oh, oh my gosh, that one really knocked me out, didn't it? That one knocked me. And to think that it's just a little seed gram. You can imagine if it was something a little stronger. Oh no, no, no. Oh my gosh. Anywho, let us continue. Verse 21. And they sacrificed sacrifices unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings unto the Lord. On the morrow after that day, even 1,000 bullocks, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings, and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel, and did eat and drink before the Lord on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon, the son of King David, the second. And they made Solomon, the son of David, king the second time, and anointed him unto the Lord to be the chief governor, and Zadok to be priest. And Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. Oh, Maya is in the place. Maya is in the place. Here comes Maya. Maya, what's up? How you doing? All right, Maya. You getting a run today. Maya, you know, so me no visit your channel enough. Sister Trev no visit your channel enough. Lord, help my soul. You have to forgive me, Sister Maya. You have to forgive me. Hold on, the people. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, there. All right, gentle people, I just want to add us as to that call. Maya, Maya says she ain't not watching. Oh, sis. All right, so here we go, Maya. You know, when I'm on my live, the first three content creators who come into the live get free watch hours, because that is just one way of me trying to spread out myself among my people. Because y'all know how much I love y'all, but with busy life and everything, can't get to everybody all the time. So me get to some people more than others, and some people me not get to at all. I have to be going through YouTube or something, and then boom, me back up on them. I'm like, what in the world? So here it is, the Mayas. Let me see if you subscribe to you with my other with my other channel. See that the Mayas way. Are you this in a Maya? Now you this in a one print, like one soldier print, army print top that's so. Are you this Maya? Yeah. Why your face in the picture look in the first live here look familiar, the one where you do 6 days ago. Look different from your picture, your profile picture. Me can't see so well in the Maya. So truth will understand. Life is busy, trust me. Okay, well I you this. Alright, you have to see me give you one subscription from my other channel when name Steel News. Okay? I had it on my iPad here now, sis. So make me alright, see this so let me run one of your one of your something now so. Oh, me did watch this from Trevessence already, but let me run it right there so the total. See that so? Alright, so you are run right here, so now on my iPad on the Steel News account. Alright, there you go, Sister Maya. You know, so that's what I have to do. That's what I have to spread out myself the best way I can, and this is the best way I can. There you go, my darling. There you go. Alright, so Maya Toto I run right there. So your Toto I run Maya. In fact, that whole playlist I go run. Make it go and run for the rest of the day until we need the iPad. All right, so we are going to continue reading, my dear lovely people. Let us continue reading. We are close to the end of the book of First Chronicles, and on to chapter 29, which is actually the last chapter. Verse 23. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and the mighty men, and all the sons likewise of King David, submitted themselves unto Solomon the king. And the Lord magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Thus David, the king of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. And the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. Okay, so David reigned 40 years over Israel. And guys, for those of you who are just coming, I am waiting to get the answer to the quiz that I threw out earlier in the reading that said, what did Eliezer and Zelophehad have in common? For those of you who have been following the reading from Genesis, you should by now know, because we have mentioned Zelophehad so many times. And the one thing for which he is known greatly in the Bible. And for that thing also, Eliezer is known. So what did they have in common? Verse 27, and the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 years he reigned in Hebron, and 33 years he reigned in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, full of days, full of riches, and full of honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer. Now we have read the book of Samuel, first and second Samuel's already. And in the book of Nathan the prophet. Oh, is there a book called Nathan? Them not include that book in the Bible. So you see, guys, you remember when I said that there were many other books of the Bible, and some of the books were deleted, were omitted from this compilation. A lot of people were skeptic about it. They were like, "Oh, they don't believe." And remember, it was maybe a month or so ago when Overton had said in the chat that there were many other books in the Bible. He had given us a reference about many other books that were omitted from the Bible, and some people expressed skepticism about that. Now, here we go. I think the Bible has spoken about a book called, I know they talk about a God called Dagon, and I think the Bible had referred a book. I don't remember right now the name of the book that the Bible had mentioned, and I was like, well, that book is not in the Bible. So where is that book? And here again, the Bible has referenced another book that is not in the Bible. So we have some researching to do. We have these books to find so that we can know what is in them. I wonder where they are. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer. So certainly there are books of the Bible that are omitted. Remember that God was the seer who spoke to David and told David that God, God, had told him to tell David that he had three choices. He was going to get three choices. He should pick one of what his punishment was going to be for having numbered the children of Israel, for having picked up a census, so to speak, because the Lord had instructed him back in Exodus, had instructed them that they should never be counted. And then the devil tempted David to number the children of Israel, and he heeded to the devil's temptation, and he counted the children of Israel, and God was angry with him. And God told Gad, G-A-D, the seer, to tell David that he had three choices. He should pick one because he was going to be severely punished for having counted the children of Israel. And Joseph and David, after God told him what God had said, he ended up choosing for pestilence to take over the people, and pestilence took them over. And God sent an angel of death into Jerusalem and smote 7,000 people because David chose to count the people. But David, he didn't smite David. That was one interesting fact that I thought was like, okay. David committed the act, but David wasn't punished, but the people were punished for the acts of David. All right, I hear you. So now here the Bible is saying that there is a book of Samuel the seer, there is a book of Nathan the prophet, and there is also a book of Gad the seer. All right, Joseph, so one more have breakfast this morning. Egg and whole wheat bread and some tea. Okay. All right. So when we get up from here, I'm gonna make some breakfast. I don't even know what I'm gonna make yet. Don't know yet, but I'm gonna make something. Maybe some Akan saltfish with dumpling and green banana. My people them not eat green banana cook. I'm not eat green banana cook. I have to make breakfast for them. I'm so excited that they're here. I want to do it myself. So I'm gonna make breakfast. I'm gonna get up and make breakfast for them with a chocolate tea. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna carry on with me in the kitchen when we go cook. When we go cook breakfast. Now, verse 30, and this is the last verse. With all his reign and his might, and the times that went over him, and over Israel, and over all the kingdoms of the countries. So, if we want to find out all that happened to David, we have to read the books of First and Second Samuel. We have to read the book of Nathan the prophet, and we have to read the book of God the seer, which we have only read First and Second Samuel because that's what's been offered to us. Now let me go online here and look if there is the book of Nathan. Remember, Nathan was a prophet that we have read about. The book of Nathan. Let's see. Why is this not coming up? Not even Google can find it. Not even Google can find the book of Nathan. Hold on there, gentle people. You're not hungry yet. All that food you eat last night, you're good to go. I'm good to go until noon. Yes, Joseph, I think I'm good to go until noon. But remember say I have to cook for them picnic. Yeah, I have to cook for them picnic, so that's what we're going to do. Till then wake up. You know, some of my young people now wake up till how much hours a day. You tell them to me I go up on the road, but my son not like crowd. I don't like crowd either. I must tell no, it's Independence weekend, so we'll have a crowd up on the road, which is true. We'll have a crowd up on the road and the must of the people them not drive right. Which is true. Why is not coming up? What is going on here? Why is this not coming up? The book of Nathan. It doesn't seem like it's coming on. Yes, Joseph, I could go for the entire rest of the day. Trust and believe me. I could go for the entire rest of the day. The road busy and the supermarket. Yes, Maya. The roads are very busy with the people out upon the road all over. Whole heap of people. Whole heap of people there all over. So so excuse me, when you have a people upon the road. And because it's a long weekend, a lot of people taking long trips. Because you know say enough people get off of work Thursday, they not go back to work till like Wednesday or like next week, Thursday. Don't do that. It's not good for me. One not good for me, girl. Don't stay hungry for the whole day. I mean, as I drink like a tea. But as I go drink like a tea, drink me like a turmeric. Yeah, go drink me turmeric and stuff. And then go into the kitchen, go make the breakfast for the children them. Then go make little ackee and saltfish for them. And some chocolate tea. My son will eat. Me never see this. My son will eat cooked plantain, but he's not eating like boiled banana. But he will drink the banana porridge. Like, I don't know. My daughter not eat the boiled banana, but she will eat the dumpling. I tell you. I tell you, my people. I don't know what happened to this. but it is not coming on. I don't know what has happened, but Google not coming on. I want Google to drop down. Well, no, we use a different, we use a different phone and see. Let me check in for Maya here so and see what Maya do here. So, well, Maya cut up the total. Just like that, just like that. All right, let's see if we can ever find the book of Nathan. We are trying to find the book of Nathan. The book of Nathan. Because if we find it, you know, the book of Nathan the prophet. Oh, wow. Oh, my. The book of Nathan. Amazon has it for $14. The book of Nathan the prophet. Oh, it is a thrift books. The lost books of the Bible. The lost books of the Bible. Oh my word. Oh wow. The book of Nathan, thrift books has it for $3.99. Let me see, they have it in a PDF form online. The book of Nathan, the prophet PDF. Hold on, you know it is on here via PDF. I'm never download it and read it. I Yankee them, they don't want Jamaican hard food. Well, I eat them to eat. Them only want fast food and something. Them not gonna live long. I eat them something there. Them to eat good food. Yeah, nowadays them not eat good food, and then them are gonna start eat these lab grown chicken and lab grown meats and all these things. You understand? It's not good for them. It is definitely not good for them. I may feel bad for them. But just so this one can holler at me. I want him to say, you know. You understand? God, Jesus, when I have 274 messages, you don't really think I never get time to read 274 messages? Who get answered, and who don't get answered, just don't get answered. I don't have time. I can't go through so much just once. Yeah, the people them not gonna live long because them not eat no healthy food. Everything either in a can or something like that. And when it's not in a can or so, it is a lab grown food. No good food them not eat. All right, guys. You know what? We are not going to do this today, but I have it right here. Let me see how big the book of Nathan is. It's a whole book, you know, guys. You understand me? It's a whole book. There is also a book of Jashar, Jashar. So y'all know when they say that there are lots missing from the Bible, you can understand. That's why some parts of the Bible kind of leaves us with a little bit of mystery, like what happened here? Like what happened here? Yeah, them getting very lazy. To them want everything easy. That is so true. Them are nowadays generation. Them not have to get up go carry water. Them not have to get up go carry out goat. I like this Saturday morning. When I was a child, I grew up at Benton, so this Saturday morning we ain't going to be doing nothing. We go and get up, we go and get ready, and we go and get our tails out of the house to church. We not going no pot not put a fire because from last night, Mama make the mint tea and put it in the thermos. And the pudding, the potato pudding or the cornmeal pudding already done made. Okay, so so that's what we're eating for breakfast. The piece of pudding and some minty out of the thermos. Them a pitney nowadays, them not get up do nothing. Either Saturday or Sunday morning. You fight them to clean their room, you fight them to do. Can't bother, yeah. Can't bother because we ain't doing no fighting. Cannot be bothered. Them get lazy. Them get very lazy. Let me see what this Maya fix Asus laptop. Alright. Maya they fix. Hold on there, but no Maya. Maya make other people them pay. No Maya make other people watch hours. And that's how this thing work. No sister Maya, that's how this thing work. The watch hours is for you. Eh. And not the people that want to put for your playlist. Like, and then they're not even small people. You know, small people, fine. But not them big people there, like knowledge of something and tech fix it. So I just, good thing me look, so I just gotta skip and I want this one more time. So, how do you say I'm showing something? This one part is just in. Okay, we're recording. Alright, there you go. So guys, we are going to be reading, not this morning, but in the coming days, we are going to be reading this course research. The convention of Nathan's history is in the Chronicles. The history of the series mentioned both once, and that is in Chronicles 20, verse 27. Yeah, I really want to read about what was Nathan's take on the events that occurred around that time, because his name was mentioned quite a few times. That means that he had a lot of first-hand knowledge about what was going on in the palace of King David, and so it's important for us to read, and that is why I'm interested in what narratives that I just see scanning for it. I just don't know it on my phone and scanning for it right here. It just seems like it's referencing the same people we have heard their names called as we have been reading. It also refers to other books. And here it says in the first place, the books quoted and cited together with a number of references to each other following. There is a book called the Book of Wars of Jehovah, the Book of Cashapp, the Book of Acts of Solomon. Yes, that's in the Bible. The Book of Kings of Israel. Right now, the Bible. The Book of Kings of Israel and Judah. The Book of Kings of Judah and Israel. The Book of Chronicles of Kings of Israel. The Book of Chronicles here. Okay. So there are indeed some other for us to go read. We are going to be looking for those information. I will be searching for that information And we will share, I will share the book of Nathan. I really want to hear what was Nathan's take on the entire situation between David and Solomon and all the events that occurred around the time that David ruled Jerusalem. All right, but that's where we are going to end this morning. It's clear that nobody has answered the question that was thrown out today. The question of the day, nobody answered it. The question of the day was, what did Eliezer and Zelophehad have in common? And if nobody was able to answer that question, I'm going to give you the answer. Now, Zelophehad and Eliezer had no sons. Neither of them had any sons. They both had only daughters. And so they weren't able to contribute a prince to their bloodline, if you know what I mean. Right, because you know the son comes the heir of the father's throne and his son, so they pride themselves on having sons. But as nature does what it does, and neither of these men had any sons, neither Eliezer nor Zelophehad. Neither of them had any sons, and that is what they both had in common. All right, you're not hearing me, good Josie? Well, we have come to the end of this morning's reading of the Bible. I want to say thanks to those of you who came into the live. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all, those of you who followed along in your book Bible or your Google Bible. I sincerely appreciate you all. We are going to now start the reading of the book Grace Under Fire. We need to finish reading this book for sure. For sure, we need to finish reading. For sure, we need to finish reading this book. Yeah. So for those of you who have been here with me as we have been reading this book, we have just a little bit of ways to go. And so this morning we are going to be reading it, starting at chapter 25. So come back with me in about the next 10 minutes as I start the reading of Grace Under Fire by Julie Garwood. And you know, as we read, we talk about Michael and Isabel. They are now over there in Scotland. But anyway, thanks to you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you all. Come back. I hope you all enjoy the reading of the Bible as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. Join me again tomorrow morning when we will continue the reading of the Bible. Until next time, my friends, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Now have yourselves a great Saturday, everybody.